Okay, and we're live. Welcome back to the HEALcast. My name is Morgan. I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Bobby. Bobby, say hi.
How we doing, everyone?
Okay, awesome. And we are joined by two outreach coordinators for Thon 2021. That's so crazy to say since we're not even in 2021 yet. We have Lily and Emily. Do you guys just mind introducing yourselves?
Yeah, hi Morgan and Bobby. Thank you so much for having us. I'm Emily Laird. I'm a junior studying Spanish and Human Development and Family Studies here at Penn State, and I'm one of the outreach coordinators with Lily. Basically, we just work with student engagement, faculty and staff engagement, and mini-thon engagement as well.
Awesome.
Cool. My name is Lily. I'm the other outreach coordinator with Emily. I'm a junior as well. I'm in the Master's of Accounting program with a minor in Human Development and Family Studies. I think that's about it. I'm excited to talk more about Thon with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you both so much for coming onto the podcast. We're super excited to have you.
We're excited to be here. If anyone gives us an opportunity to talk about Thon for 45 minutes, we're like absolutely signed.
We're
Right.
taking a look at it.
Love that.
Yeah. And you guys are communications captains, so it makes sense too that you want to talk about Thon. So just to start, do you guys mind telling us more about your positions, like your committee, a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this year, our primary focus, so we got chosen in April of 2020, and we've been working on recruitment for Thon this year, specifically for committee members. So that was kind of what we were doing all summer long, working on our recruitment. Typically in a non-COVID year, that would look like tabling all throughout campus. It would be going to involvement fairs, different orientations, and crashing classrooms and like talking to them about Thon. And this year, I'm sure we'll talk about this more, pretty much all of our plans got turned right upside down, which was a challenge, but a fun one. So that's kind of what we spent all summer on, figuring out how we can reach as many people as we can to talk about Thon in this entirely new environment. So that's the student engagement part. But we also facilitate the relationship Penn State has with Thon. So we're working throughout the year to create programs for faculty and staff at Penn State to engage with Thon's mission, and also just get to know them better and how Thon can serve Penn State faculty better. Then we have the mini-thon part, and I'm going to let Emily talk about that one. You down?
Yeah, sure. Basically, mini-thon, Lily and I, neither of our schools in high school had mini-thon, so it's like kind of exciting to jump into this as a college student instead of a high school student. But it's been really cool because we've gotten to talk a lot with the director of mini-thons at Penn State Children's Hospital. And she's just really guided us and like talked with us about how we can work with and then support the high school students who are working for mini-thons. So mini-thon totals are separate from Penn State thon totals, but it's still really cool because Thon Weekend we'll be able to facilitate an event where they get to come and see like what Thon Weekend looks like, and it might be different this year, but that's a challenge and opportunity that we have as well. But throughout the year, just like having fun with different mini-thons, and we're excited for our committee members to get to know different mini-thon leaders. It's exciting.
Something cool with mini-thon too, I'll add real quick, is we actually, as much as we get to help them learn about how Thon works, we've actually learned a lot through them. So over the summer, we went to the Mini-thon Leadership Summit, which is a big event they have for mini-thon leaders all throughout Pennsylvania to attend. And so through this, we actually got ideas for specifically like virtual engagement and recruitment through these high school students. So it's like a really cool relationship that we get to have with these students.
That's awesome. You get some ideas out of them, and they get some from you as well.
Bobby, did your school have a mini-thon? I know you grew up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, my school did have a mini-thon, but it was like only 12 hours, and I never did it. It's kind of a yikes. I probably should have. I know Matt Giuliano, who we had on here before, also went to my high school. He did do it, and he loved it. So.
Okay. For reference, Matt Giuliano was a president of HEAL back when we were freshmen. So
many moons ago.
Matt Giuliano, if you're listening, you're washed up.
No, I love him.
So can you guys talk a little bit about kind of how recruiting committee members and stuff was different. I know you said a lot of it was virtual. I think I saw a few TikToks. What were some of your methods?
Started on TikTok.
Yeah, so Lily sort of touched on it already, but normally it would be tabling at the hub in different like residence halls and different Finley Commons and different common areas. But this year, following Penn State COVID restrictions, but also like Fun is a healthcare-based organization, so we want to be taking this as seriously as we can. But for that reason, it looked like TikToks, different social media pushes, emails. Like we emailed everyone who'd been a mini-thon leader in high school, was going to be a freshman at Penn State. We did a lot of classroom crashing over Zoom and then some in person as well, but a lot of that. So faculty was really helpful this year because they want students to be involved and engaged in Penn State as much as possible. I don't know, what else, Lily, did we do?
So one thing, those are like our big main projects, but starting off the year, Emily and I kind of sat down over Zoom and kind of nailed down like what our goals and visions looked like for the year. And one thing that we really wanted to prioritize was including more voices in Thon. So we just wanted to reach more communities because we actually got a statistic at the beginning of our position that 80% of Thon volunteers found out about Thon either through word of mouth or through a friend, so kind of the same thing. And that's something that's cool to think about, but also concerning because that means that Thon stays in the same circles. So something we were focusing on is getting that word out to as many people as we can. We spent a lot of time reaching out to different organizations on campus to see if they would be interested in becoming ThonOrgs. And then once we made those connections, communicating deadlines for committee members to them just to reach more groups of people at Penn State. So it wasn't just older siblings and friends telling freshmen, hey, join a Thon committee, you know?
Well,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's especially in this like day and age, and just being like open to really having more people and reaching just more groups is super awesome. And I'm sure it was a challenge with the virtual aspect, but I'm sure there's also other ways that it was helpful. Did you feel like any ways that being virtual actually helped you? Like, was it easier to crash classrooms or did you find it harder to do that? I mean, I guess you didn't do this position last year, so it's hard to compare, but any benefits of being virtual? I don't hear.
I think it forced us to be creative because recruitment sort of has like a pretty steady plan from past years, like reading our predecessors' finals versus the people who were their predecessors. Like they did similar things and they would each put their own take on it, but a pretty stable, like tabling is one, like late nights at the hub is another way. So we were forced many times to be creative and do new things. And I think TikTok really is one example of that, where we like public relations said take the reins and we kind of did whatever we wanted, but that seemed to have a big effect. And then I'd say classroom crashes, it was easier to get there and it was like pretty easy for professors to say, sure, just like come in and share your screen versus let's send the PowerPoint and let's make sure someone can get to that class. Like Lily and I, there were a couple times we couldn't find anyone to cover one and we would just like go late to one of our classes because you don't have to run across campus, you can just log on.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, that was definitely one of the benefits is we got to reach probably way more students. And I think something too is because in all of our emails asking professors of class, we like expressed how difficult it has been to reach students, especially first years. And I think with that, professors were much more willing to give us a little bit of class time because these first year students aren't having the same experience with involvement fairs and orientations as they would have in a normal year.
Yeah, awesome. And so I know we're talking a little bit about normal years. Do you guys mind talking about your past involvement with Thon and things like that? I'm sure it looked a little bit different, but previous captains or committee members, all that fun stuff.
Lily, do you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. So my kind of experience with Thon did start in high school. So in my high school, we had something called Camathon. So it was a 12-hour dance marathon in honor of a boy named Cam who went to my high school, who had leukemia and he passed away. So a lot of students a group of students from my high school got together and we were a part of the planning process of this 12-hour dance marathon. So that kind of spurred my love for fundraising for this sort of thing, or planning an event for a cause as important as childhood cancer, because I've seen how it affects not just the families, it affects communities around it. That kind of is where my passion for it spurred. So my senior year, I helped start the fundraising committee the corporate fundraising committee for Camathon, which is where I learned about donor contacting and emailing businesses to see if they would donate to Camathon that year. So that was a really cool experience. And so going to Penn State, I knew right away that I wanted to be involved with Thon. My freshman year, I was a Rules and Regulations Committee member, which was an amazing experience. I love being an R&R committee member. I'll talk it up till the day I die. Yeah, I loved being on R&R because I had an awesome captain who she shaped a huge part of my life. I'm so thankful for her. Then my sophomore year, I could talk about Thon forever. Oh, goodness.
Go ahead. We got time.
My sophomore year, I applied to be a captain for supply logistics. So supply logistics is a committee that works to drive Thon's internal cost lower, so that total that we see at the end of Thon weekend is higher, which gets me really excited. I could talk about it for a while. And so for SL last year, I got to be a donor contact, so kind of bringing back my senior year skills for all toys, games, technology, and sporting goods for all pre-Thon and Thon weekend events. And I got to lead and facilitate the Hershey Holiday Toy Drive with my co-captain, which was incredible. And then this year I'm with Emily, and I'm the outreach coordinator. So very exciting.
Awesome. So a few things. One, Bobby is also on R&R this year, so you can talk to him.
Go R&R.
R&R, that's where it's at.
Who's your captain?
Mark Leone. What's your wait? So you guys mentioned your committee, but you didn't say what your committee name was. Did you guys pick it yet?
Yes, we did.
Right?
We didn't pick it, but they picked it.
Your members.
We're Lil M Steins.
Oh,
wait, that's so cute.
Isn't it so good? I was so impressed.
Now
That's
we have
so
a theme
funny.
song too, because it's the
You gotta sing it.
Lil Einstein's Trap remix.
Oh?
It's amazing.
Very exciting.
I'll put it as a background. I'll throw it in.
Yeah, we were so excited. We just found out last night, so this is new news.
So did you guys have your thoughts on what you really wanted your committee name to be, or did you just leave it up to them?
We came up with horrible ones. The ones we came up with were so bad. We were like, oh my god, I hope this isn't our committee name. I think Emily 2 days ago, I was like, what if they did Welcome to My Eve Lil Lair? Evil Lair?
Uh-huh.
They came up with, they blew us out.
Not it.
Yeah, they beat you a little bit there, I think.
They did.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
good committee members.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got an amazing group.
We did.
That's so funny. And then going backwards, so your freshman year R&R captain was Gianna, right?
Yes. Oh, I'm going to send her the link to this so she knows.
So for anyone listening, the way that me and Lily know each other is we're both fitness instructors on campus. And then Gianna was also a fitness instructor on campus. She graduated last year. So fun little tie-in of how they'd all kind of brought us together. Is that the reason you started fitness instructing too?
It is. Thanks, Gianna. Love you.
Shout out Gianna. And now she, I think, works in supply chain. And that's my major. So all these little tie-ins.
Good connection.
Yeah. And Emily, do you mind telling us a little bit about your Thon history, I guess is what we could call it?
I'm sorry, you cut out really quick. Can you repeat that, please?
Okay, sorry. Can you just tell us a little bit about your Thon history?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so both my parents went to Penn State, but neither actually were involved in Thon. But growing up, absolutely chanting "We Are" all the time. We did tour Penn State though, officially. It wasn't just them, so that was nice. And in that day of the tour, you like start and watch this big Penn State video. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear a lot of this, but
You're good.
You watch this video in one of the like pre-tour events, and it's all about Thon. And I was just like sitting there getting chills, and I didn't immediately decide on Penn State, but I definitely decided pretty soon. And so coming into it, I knew I wanted to be involved, but one of my best friends from high school was a year above me, and she also had been involved. So that was a big push and like really helped me to know the deadlines, which is like to bring it back to that crazy statistic where most people know of someone who's in it. And then that's why they join. But coming in, I applied for dance relations and I was on dance relations my freshman year and sophomore year, and I loved it so much. That was an amazing experience for me. And last year, I was the supply logistics liaison for my committee, and that gave me a lot of leadership because Brian Seitz, who's now the special events director, was my captain, and he was just focused on like giving us as much responsibility as we wanted and like leadership as we wanted. So then coming out of that year, I felt a lot more confident, and I applied to be a communications captain with Lily. So it's very exciting, and it's our perfect role. We didn't know we wanted it, but we love it so much.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I get the whole growing up with Penn State parents because I also was forced to drink that Penn State Kool-Aid early. So.
And aren't you glad you did?
Of course. That flag's up there because I want it to be, not because it has
No,
to.
exactly.
Right?
Do you apply anywhere else, Bobby?
No.
Do you only apply here?
Only applied to Penn State.
What was the backup plan?
There was no backup plan.
Penn State or nothing.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Do you have a lot of like? You grew up in Pittsburgh, though. You weren't expected to be applying to Pitt, or would have that been like shameful?
One of my sisters. I have two older sisters. I think one of them did. I don't know. Penn State and Pitt don't really have the rivalry now that they did like when my parents were here because they graduated in '83 and '86. So like back then it was like big rivalry. So it was like probably shameful. But yeah, I don't know. It was Penn State, or the backup plan was like I guess I'd get a job at like Wendy's, but here we are. It worked out.
Well, you work at Party City over the summer.
Yeah, where nobody has more party for less. Party City's. Oh man, I hate Party City.
I cried in Party City once, so I can really.
You cried in Party City?
Yeah, I don't know. I just got weird vibes in there, and tears started coming. I wasn't gonna stop them.
I also cry in Party City, but probably different reasons.
Yeah, it was probably different. I think I was like 8 years old, and I was probably scared I lost my mom. So.
Oh, yikes!
Your Party Cities at home have like color-coded aisles, or is that just mine?
So mine is smaller, and it has a there's like two color sections. So there's a solid section where it's like plates, tableware, napkins, forks, knives, and that's aisle 3. So you run down there to get all your solids, and then we have a back wall that's called Color City, and that's like shirts and pants, stockings, wigs, all sorts of fun shenanigans, like silly string, whatnot. Anyways, that's all on the back wall. So I know the corporate layout is different, but mine is special. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad we got to talk about Party City today. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I had a nightmare reminder.
So I know we talked a little bit about your committee. Can you guys tell us more about like the whole process of interviews, and then the fun things that you got to do last night, meeting all of them? I guess you all met them, but officially together.
You want to go? Or should I?
You can go.
Okay, I can talk a little bit. So interview process was a blast. Emily and I had probably too much fun asking them funny questions, getting to know them. We were so lucky that like the people on our committee all were just like, we just fell in love with them. Not to be dramatic, but we fell in love with them quickly, and we had our first meeting last week, which has just been really exciting. It's been hard with the Zoom and stuff, but we're confident that we'll be able to have a great experience regardless. One thing I'll add that kind of has to do with the interview and application process is it changed this year. It changed a lot the way that someone does it, and I mean, it was totally different, so it was a big change for everyone. But one thing, I mean, why it started is because Thon is attempting to be more inclusive, and kind of get rid of any idea of like different committees being better than other committees. So this new application process allowed the talent to be spread all across every committee, which is really exciting, and it'll be cool to see like the effects of that going into this Thon year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that I hadn't applied this year. I've been on committees in the past, and I heard that it was different. It was what broken into like a couple categories, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and then you could kind of like pick the category, or I don't know entirely how it worked.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
old like people who had already applied in the past were like they were grandfathered into the old method of committee selection, and if it was your first time, because I know this is the first time I was on a committee, so I took my time getting there. Anyways, but yeah, I went in there and everyone's like, oh, just sign up for. I want to be on. My initial plan was I was hoping to do DR, and they're like, oh, just go in and sign up for DR, and I was like, guys, that's not an option. I can't sign up for DR.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I ended up where I am. Mark and I, we hang out. It's fun.
Besties.
It's awesome. So
I mean, I'm sure, like, I mean, eventually it'll become so that freshmen, everyone will have just started with this new program. And I think it's a great idea because
definitely.
I know there can definitely be thoughts like, oh, I don't want to be on that committee or I want to be on this one. And people even being disappointed. And I think the thing that sometimes we lose sight of when we're choosing committees and stuff is that if you're involved in the Thon community and you're doing your part in Thon, you're really like in the right place, like they're going to find the right place for you. And what's really important is the kids in the mission more so than like the committee that you fall on. And I think that's a great idea because it will kind of lead to people being more centered in the mission and less centered around like their own selfish reasons for being on one committee versus the next.
Definitely.
That's super cool that Thon did that, and I know it'll be. I feel like people always struggle with change, but change isn't always bad. Change can be good.
Change got us this podcast, which is the best thing that's ever happened ever. So
yeah, that's actually exciting. I didn't know that was necessarily happening. I know I'd heard from Bob, but I guess I didn't fully like talk to a lot of people about it. But neat, good for Thon. I love evolution and open-mindedness.
For sure.
Okay, now I lost my train of thought of where we were.
sorry, mine never started. So
Okay, perfect. Wait,
we were talking about your interview process and your committee members.
And then so you guys met with them last week over Zoom. Do you have any like plans of seeing them in person, or is it just mostly going to be on Zoom? I don't even know.
It's the kind of thing where meetings are definitely going to be on Zoom. I know we're trying to work with like comfort levels, following all guidelines, and then also like some community members are home. So we want it to be inclusive for everyone, no matter where they are during this school year and like their comfort levels. So I think that any point where we're going to be in person, it's going to be masked outside and distant for now, at least. COVID changes all the time, but the way that it is right now. But meetings are definitely on Zoom for the time being. So then that's across Thon, it's across Penn State. I don't think any hubs are.
Yeah, I think that's a Penn State rule, just in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, you said it too. Like COVID changes all the time, so who knows? A week from now, we could have a vaccine, right? And I mean, realistically,
that'd be nice,
right? Yeah, honestly, can we have it tomorrow, please? Like, but so it really just depends, yeah. But I think you guys have all, my captain at least I know, and I'm sure you guys also are just as amazing as he is, has done a really great job at just like keeping us up to date, just like letting us know like here's what's going on, here's why we're doing the things we're doing, and here's like what I want to do, and here's the plan. So like, yeah, it's been good.
As an org, we've definitely kind of been facing the same thing. We've been having all online meetings and stuff, and just wanting people to feel like they have people that they can spend time with, but also be comfortable and feel safe. And obviously, just trying to keep everyone's health as our number one priority. So yeah, we've been trying our best to do as many things that are like socially distant, wearing masks, or online. And it's tough because we are like trying to recruit like freshmen and things like that. Because I remember when I was a freshman, like joining HEAL was so important to me, and I met so many of my really good friends through it. So my heart goes out to everyone because it is hard to make new friends and everything, but I feel like we're all just doing the best that we can.
Morgan, we should have made TikToks.
I don't even have TikTok.
I don't either.
You guys got to get on TikTok because
I don't know.
we had a couple committee members, like through interviews, they found out about Thon through TikTok. So we're changing that statistic from word of mouth through friends, and we're increasing it to 80% find out
All
about
right, Morgan,
Thon.
we're getting on TikTok.
You guys should make your own column of like people who found out about us through TikTok and see where that goes.
Yeah,
So
can we get like a
Okay.
shout out on your TikTok, please, so that we can grow faster? We need to hit some For You pages, right? It's gonna be tough when we start out and we're trying to get on For You pages. Like
Hashtag FYP.
I got you. Yeah.
It's all about, we learned about the TikTok algorithm. It's all about volume. It's about location. So you're going to show up on people's pages that are like in a certain radius. And it's about, what else, Emily? Like hashtags? I don't know.
Hashtag. It's really just quantity and then location, yeah. So we were like getting a lot of TikToks of it.
I'm gonna game the algorithm. I'm ready. I'm a cybersecurity major. This is right up my alley. I'm gonna look into the statistics behind it and the math.
Those are the things like when you're joining Thon and like you get leadership in Thon, things that like you never would have expected you'd learn, like because of
TikTok
Thon.
algorithms.
Yeah. Things like that all the time, which is so fun.
That's awesome.
Like last year, for Thon, this is so weird.
Go.
Last year so I was on SL, so we would get donations from different companies, and I was at this like manufacturing warehouse for fabric in the middle of Philly, like in like the city of Philadelphia, and I looked around and like had a moment, and I was like, I'm here because of Thon. Like I'm at the warehouse in Philly because of Thon. Like you just never would expect it to be, like of the cute weekend, and then there's like I'm in a fabric warehouse. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I remember you saying last year too that you were like trying to find, what kind of sand was it? Like you needed some absurd amount of sand.
Yes, I got a supply request for Thon weekend that was 15 pounds of kinetic sand that I had to get donated. I was like, who? Like,
yeah, why?
I don't know. I honestly
what was it used for?
I think it was for a theme hour, which Emily could talk about because she was a theme hour chair her freshman year.
I have some ideas.
For theme hour, kinetic sand.
Yeah, kinetic sand hour.
Well, Bobby last year was our Thon weekend chair with his co-chair, who's sadly not here anymore, but Shannon, she's in optometry school, so doing bigger and cooler things.
She's cooler than us now.
But they were like the best on weekend chairs.
Stop it, you.
We had like a theme for the whole weekend. We like theme hours as an org, but we did like a whole theme. So last year it was like a beach theme, and they were the lifeguards, and like everyone else had like
we bought costumes and everything. I bought flower lays and gave them out. It was a good time.
Yeah, that was really fun. And we like decorated our families' rooms for like their hotels with like lays and stuff, and a lot of balloons and all of that stuff. But yeah, so what were some like theme hour things that you did, Emily, your freshman year?
So it was actually last year. My freshman year, our theme hour was, we also had one, but I wasn't in charge of it, thank goodness, because I didn't know what that was. Like as a freshman, I went in so blind. But last year, we were circus hour, which was like very cool in that there's a lot to do for circus, and it was kind of like built-in games almost. But it was also really nice because I could, like, my dancers were struggling by the time our theme hour was. So I was like, I'm going to be over here working, and we have so many things. Like, I could keep an eye on them, keep them playing my games. And it was also awesome because I got to work within different committees. So working with supply logistic captains was awesome, and they were so helpful and so amazing. And then we also ended up working a couple other theme hours just because of like logistical issues that like different people would put us in charge while they were gone off shift. And it was so nice because we just felt like people were excited about our theme hour. It felt really affirming. Sort of random, but
that's awesome.
Do you have any like fun stories from being a DR committee member? Like anything where you were like, oh my gosh, my dancers are really fading or something funny? I don't know.
I don't know if they're like necessarily funny. I was very scared at the moment, but like people, I had 3 last year, and it was just like 3 people and then me. I was with who was it? Oh gosh, I was special interest Apollo, and so they're a big org because they had a lot of dancers. But I had I had 3, and the one girl, she was a captain, so she had like a lot of people who knew her and were caring for her on the floor. So she was just like never to be found. And I was like constantly looking for her, but I knew she was probably in good hands. So I was like, I don't know. And then the other 2 would pretty much stay together. But if I couldn't find them, then there was like, I didn't know a single one of my dancer was. Um, but my favorite moment, this was actually my freshman year. And this is more of a specific story, I guess. But I came back for my last shift. It was the last 2 hours before Final Four. And I came on, and my partner was leaving, and she was like, hey, they're so bad. And that was all she had time to tell me on the stairs. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even know where they are. Like all this stuff. And I went down and I had a moment of like insane calm, just like looking around all the chaos around me. And I was like, okay, I have this one job. And I found them, and like they didn't have like facial recognition skills. Like they were walking around just like practically without thinking. I was like following them, trying to get them to eat. But then the most magical moment of the whole weekend, their thon child came down. This is with PCT, the business track. And their thon child came down, and immediately they snapped out of it. Like they saw him, they were fine. They knew who I was. They knew who all of their other dancers were, like why they were there, what hour it was, and like things that I had told them. I was like trying not to cry because that would have been absolutely horrible for their mental states. But I was like, this is beautiful. And that was the moment when I had to say like, okay, your family's here, but like I'm leaving. It's the Final Four. Like you've made it. It's so close. So that was such like a moment of resiliency that I got to see, and I loved it. Wow. And they were just also really cool.
I never knew that story.
That's so cool. And how like their thon child just really like lifts their spirits. Wow. Yeah, oh my gosh. I know like when we're on at like when Heal is at Thon weekend, I feel like we kind of have the same effect too. We have 2 families, and like our Thon child. So we had one family for a while, just the Tuckies, and then last year we were lucky enough to add the Hesses to our org, and it was like right before Thon. So we met them basically at Thon. I think Bobby had met them one time.
Yeah, I met them before because I'm special, but it's
fine. The year before, so we just had Tuckies, and our Thon child's name is Becca. She's awesome, and I think she's like stood for almost all 46 hours. It was something.
Yeah, it was like 40, maybe 42. Does that sound right?
Like she did
maybe
it
that's
with
too many. It could have been 36.
Yeah, I think her mom basically was like, Becca, like we got to go back to the hotel for a little while.
Her like feet were swelling, and like that's when they made her leave.
Yeah, so I think that's something super special that like our Thon children can teach us so much and just do so much for us. I know like you're kind of in the mindset that like we're here for them, but it's crazy how much they can be there for us through like so many things. I feel like families have become truly our families, not just associated with Thon. So that I love that story. That's so cool.
How old is Becca? How old is she?
Sorry?
How old is Becca?
So Becca is, what is she, 14 now? She's a freshman in
She's 14. She's gonna be 15 in December, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Becca, I don't know.
Yeah, so Becca's awesome. She's 14 and turning 15. Oh my gosh. I can't believe she's growing up so fast. When we were freshmen, she was what? 12? She turned 12. Maybe
she turned 13.
That's such a time of like change.
Right?
Yeah. Like we've gone to our field hockey.
Be there for 42 hours. When I was 14, I would be like, I'm tired. I'm leaving.
Yeah, like 10 minutes in, I'd be like, can I go to bed? Can I go sit down? Like,
yeah.
Honestly, she's cooler than like every single one of us.
Oh, definitely.
Ever met. Like she has like the coolest Crocs too, and she was like switch to them until like later, and she has like these like aqua blue Crocs, and yeah,
she's a stud.
that freshman year, that year that she did that, her family also spoke on stage, so that was like super special.
That is special.
So yeah, just humble brag about our awesome families. So we do have a few questions that we do ask everyone who comes onto the podcast. I think that you guys will have some good answers. I know you will. Okay, so looking forward to Thon 2021's line dance. Do you have any guesses of things that will be in it?
I actually have new ones, Morgan. I have a new one.
Okay, awesome. Hold it till the end.
Yeah.
So we have gotten things like Tiger King, baking banana bread during quarantine. What are some other ones?
SpaceX.
Some are like a little bit sadder too,
like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. So, like, do you guys have any guesses of things that'll be included based on? Okay, Lily, you look like you're confident.
Coronavirus.
Well, okay, I don't want to talk about. I know they're gonna put COVID in it, but I hope by then we will all forget that this ever happened.
True.
I'm kidding. I kid. But I think there's always something from The Bachelorette, One Hop.
Yes.
Something
True.
along those lines is always in it. And then there will be something about sports. But I probably shouldn't open that up because I don't know a lot about sports.
It's all right. You're among friends here.
I guess, what did LeBron just win his 4th?
Did they win?
This shows how much I don't know. I think I saw on Twitter.
Last I saw, they were leading 3-2, maybe.
Obviously, we know just
4-1. I don't watch basketball.
Yeah. You get this.
I checked the thing from Taco Bell when they whenever something happens in basketball, they give out a free taco and then you can go pick it up. Like that's the only time I ever pay attention to basketball.
Too bad we don't have Taco Bell on campus anymore.
That's maybe my guess though.
That was your guess, the Taco Bell.
I think the vigil. Was that after someone?
Good one.
That's a good one.
And I was like, there it is.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
That's on my list.
That is.
I mean, there will be something about there being no football, no in-person football.
Yeah.
That's a sad
probably
one.
Something about they're selling cutouts, so probably something about cutouts.
Yeah.
That'll probably be in the Thon section at the end because Thon is fundraising through that. That would be my guess. As far as other things that are new with Thon this year, I wonder if they'll mention the new committee member application. I'm trying to think of things in the past. Call a donor phone-a-thon. I mean, I know they're doing it again.
46 Beyond, their podcast that they started.
Oh,
which they must have gotten some great inspiration for that. I wonder where they came up with the idea.
Their podcast is awesome. So if you're listening to this one, go listen to 46 Beyond too.
Definitely, they're good. They're pretty cool.
Our one co-captain edits it. Shout out to you.
I edit this one. It's fine.
Bobby,
you do a great job. I did
appreciate it.
What were your? I mean, honestly, the more podcasts, the better. The more we can.
Yeah, right. Seriously, it's all about spreading the message. But the new one I had was The Fly on Mike Pence's head. That would 100% be in the line dance.
That's a good one.
They'll mention it.
Yeah, that's a great question. I should think about that more throughout the year. I feel like I don't think about.
I started a list this year, and I just when things happen, I write them down. And I'm like, this is gonna be in. This is gonna get it. I know people who do Twitter threads.
The reason that this question started, was because we had, I think it was the 3rd or 4th episode, we had Matt Giuliano on, who was one of the former presidents, and he keeps a Twitter thread that he actually tweets every time he thinks of something that's going to be on there, and then after that Thon, he goes back and reflects to see which ones were right.
He was 17 for 22 last year. He was insane.
He's pretty good at it. So then we were okay, we should add that as a question, and we got excellent, some really good response. Oh, another one was the Travis Scott meal at McDonald's.
Yeah.
It would not be
Travis
shocked.
Scott burger.
And there was another one. I know we get a lot of. Well, really, honestly, I just talk about Tiger King every week. Carol Baskins being on
Dancing with
the Stars.
And then there's another one. I mean, I'm sure there'll be plenty about coronavirus. Hopefully it's
Hopefully not.
And the Hype House, like there will probably be something new by Thon weekend, but all of the TikTok drama, I'm sure.
On TikTok.
Didn't they start like a TikTok show about like they're in like the medical industry or something like that? They're like TikTok MD
What?
with like a bunch of TikTokers.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Listen, I'm not on TikTok, so I could be wrong, but I heard they started a show and it's really bad. So
Interesting. Wait, going backwards to The Bachelorette. Do you guys watch?
No, I
Did
don't.
it start yet?
Sorry.
It started.
Yeah, last night.
Morgan, where's my? Oh my gosh, are we gonna watch it together or not? Like,
Bobby, we gotta be safe. COVID.
I'll sit 6 feet apart with my mask on. I'll watch through the window.
Yeah, we'll see.
That-
We used to have Bachelor Mondays after our HEAL meetings, but things changed. One, we don't have HEAL meetings in person, and there's this thing called coronavirus. And two, it's
That thing
Bachelor
sucks.
Tuesday now, and it doesn't sound as good. Bachelor Tuesday versus Bachelor Monday, just not the
It
same.
works for me. I can still. That's fine. We'll make it work.
But you know what? This Is Us is coming back soon, and I think you watch Lily.
Oh, This Is Us changed my life.
Yeah, it's so good. It is.
Oh, I love them so much. I was worried about that because you can't really film things during Corona, but I guess they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I think that some people have been starting to, and I think they just get tested like a lot,
That makes sense.
and have to quarantine or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Mhm.
But yeah. So, Bobby, I know you have your last question. Go
Well,
ahead.
I actually also have another question that I don't always ask,
Okay.
but
We're
you
so
guys
lucky.
are cool and you're special, so you get to hear this one.
Thank you.
Really quick, I just want to know, can you sum it up? What does Thon mean to you?
It's a good one.
Oh.
Uh,
Are you gonna give them a word limit?
You can do as long as you want.
Okay.
If you want to be here for an hour telling me, then I'll sit here for an hour and listen. But I do kind of want to make dinner at some point, so
I guess, Lily, do you want to start? I can go. I think I've come to terms with my answer. I'd say that thon means to me, well, I'm going to rephrase it a little bit and be
Go
like, why, more of why I thon. But I
Perfect.
thon for the people. So I specifically thon for our families, like Club Cross Country's families, the Kaufmans, the Potters, and the Fishers. But every family that I've met through thon has just been amazing and like shown so much strength and resiliency and inspired me in so many ways. But then so like meeting them and like knowing them and seeing that as like real people that we're helping, as well as real people who like need support on a daily basis, but like they love us back so much. So that reciprocal relationship is really important to me. But I also really just thon for the students that I get to know, because it's such an amazing community of volunteers that like where else other than Penn State do you see this kind of philanthropy? And it's like the largest student-run philanthropy in the world. Like so many people have the same goal and the same motivations, and it's amazing. Like Lily and I would not have met, even though there were many chances. Our labs overlapped on many occasions, but like we wouldn't know each other without thon. And there's so many people that like I can't imagine my life without now that have the same kind of story. So that's
Awesome. That was perfect.
a bit.
Tough act to follow, Lily. Let's hear it.
It is a tough act to follow, but I guess I'll do the why I thon as well. One of my favorite reasons why I thon is that I'm always finding new reasons why I thon.
That's awesome.
It's never just one thing. So, I mean, I'm talking about it. Like, the people I've met, I never would have met through thon. Emily kind of talked about it. Being on a podcast, I've never been on a podcast before.
You're famous now.
Yeah, it's already on my head. No, but really, just every time that I get an interaction with a thon volunteer, it's such a special moment in like the accumulation of everything that I've experienced through this organization. And it's like so special that everything has been so positive, even the challenges like we kind of talked about with recruitment, because without those challenges with Emily, not only did we grow so much closer, maybe closer than we would have if it hadn't been a normal year, we also learned so much about each other and like myself. So in a that's a selfish reason that like I've I've met so many amazing people that it drives me to do more for Thon. I don't know.
That's fun. No, it's selfish, but in a good way.
Yeah, it's because I love
you bettering yourself.
It's
Outreach is a place of growth.
What?
We have been shot down so many times, but it's like taught us so much.
Yeah. I don't want to say, yeah, it's just like being able to meet like hundreds and hundreds, and especially through this position, we've talked to probably pushing thousands of students and faculty and staff at this point, and all of them come with like equal passion and like a drive to contribute to this organization is mind-blowing and so special. Yeah, I could talk about it forever.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, just from knowing you, Lily, like this like little ball of sunshine bouncing around, I can like picture you walking into IM, just like, I feel like whenever I think of you, I think like just happy to be here, you know what I mean? Just like whatever, I don't know how to describe it, but just like this happy little ray of sunshine. And I can imagine if you two get along that well, then Emily, I'm sure in person you are the exact same. I don't know you as well as I know Lily, but I'm sure you guys are doing amazing things with your position this year. Hearts.
I love you, Morgan.
Love you. So if that's okay, do you guys have any for us? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Any questions?
I still got my last question.
Finish up later.
All right, fine.
We're so mean to each other, but it's all out of love. Do you guys have any questions for us before Bobby asks his final question?
Yes.
Okay.
How? So I know HEAL does like spaghetti dinners. That was one of your big alt funds. How are you guys facing like all of these changes with COVID for HEAL and like your fundraising? So
Bobby is one of our 3 alt fund shares this year. So I'll answer it briefly and then I'll let him kind of finish. So just to address the spaghetti dinners, we have been in contact with, I forget the name of the church. What is it, Bobby? Do you know?
Faith United.
Okay, so they've been awesome. And during this, like, we're still allowed to go in and make spaghetti dinners, but basically what we're doing is just making it like a to-go option. So we'll have a table set up outside and people can come and and safe, pick up their food and bring it back home. Unfortunately, we can't really eat it together. We encourage people to go eat it together, like safely, unless they live with people, then do whatever you want, or if they're comfortable with it too. But yeah, so I think that's kind of our solution to the whole spaghetti dinner thing. So that's coming up soon. Actually, if you want to come get some, I'll let you know. I forget.
Yeah.
I love
October
23rd,
I believe. October 23rd is our day.
Yeah.
We don't have time yet.
We'll get our committee to go.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. And Bobby, do you want to talk a little bit more about alt funds?
Yeah, I guess just in general, Morgan did a really good job of summing that one up. But it's been, like you guys said, an interesting year. You gotta make a lot of innovative ideas. So a lot of cool things have came out of it, I guess, like this podcast. But yeah, we're just trying our best, new things. We kind of partnered with an artist group. So that's fun. That's a new thing we have going on. They're called Fluidify. But we're reaching out, doing different things.
Code for Fluidify.
Oh yeah. They have an Etsy store. Look up Fluidify. Check out their Etsy store and use the code HEAL25, and you'll get 25% off. And then part of your stuff comes to Thon. So like, why would you not do it? Cool. Right? They have really cool things. They do shirts as well. But yeah, that's my plug for them.
Like a bunch of artists. I don't know.
Yeah, so Fluidify is kind of just a bunch of artists who want to give back to the community. Art has been a way in which they did that, whether it's through charity or just through bettering themselves. But great group of people, great message. They were super excited to find out about Thon and to work with us. So that's been a lot of fun. I've been dealing with that the last couple of weeks, but it's awesome. So yeah, we got shirts just got made, and I think they're on the Etsy store now. So check those out. They're cool.
Bracelet sales. We sell like Pure Vita bracelets that are meant to like symbolize our Thon child. Okay, yeah, he has them. So like our Thon child picked out 3 colors that she liked for one bracelet, and then the other one were like colors matched to characteristics or like character traits.
I think these are the character trait ones, the red, orange, and yellow.
I think it was things like strength, things like that we felt really symbolized her, and that she made the other one.
Yeah, and then the blue, green, and turquoise ones she made.
Yeah.
At one point, I knew what they stood for. I don't now, but like
actually, we started this last year. We actually have to make more because we have a new Thon family. We have Kimberly, so
yeah,
we can make her one too. But yeah, so those are some of the things. It's definitely been a different year, but good nonetheless.
Also, Twitch fundraising. Tried that out. That was fun. So whoever at Thon decided to do like streaming fundraisers, they knew what they were up. Like they knew what they were doing. They had it together. I had a blast. I streamed for 19 and a half hours straight on September 9th. And I made $1,300 for Thon, so it was so much fun.
What were you streaming?
Wow.
Video games, dude. It was awesome. I just sat in my room like a potato for 20 hours and played games. It was great.
Awesome.
That's good training. It prepares you for the 46. It's just
perfect.
Like,
yeah. Except I'm sitting and I'm just like staring at a screen for all of it, but it's basically the same, right?
yeah, but I mean, you're training your body to stay up for long.
Stay awake. So send that up the chain of command. Whoever came up with setting up the Twitch fundraisers, thank you, because they
But let them know.
Yeah, let them know. Just shoot it up.
Paul keeps
Beam it
following up.
Hey, Scotty.
Okay.
If we ever find out, we'll send him or her on your behalf.
Yes, please do. That'd be the best.
Any other questions that you guys have for us?
That was definitely my big one.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about how we were overcoming things.
Oh, sorry, go.
Beverly?
I interrupted.
Okay. I guess how can I follow Heal on social medias and like how can I support Heal?
Oh, well. That is a great question. You can follow Heal. Oh, let me make sure I don't screw this up.
I'm doing it right now.
At Heal_PSU on Instagram and Twitter, I believe. If that's wrong, it could be PSU_Heal. Either way.
I'll text you guys in.
Yeah.
We also
go ahead, Morgan.
Sorry. We also, if you can't tell, we both like to talk. We also have a HEALcast. That's like our official name for the podcast Instagram, and I will text both of them to you guys. It's just the HEALcast on Instagram, and I'll also be asking you for a picture of the two of you, so that we can post it and we can promote the podcast. So other ways that you can support Heal, thank you so much for asking. I guess our alt funds fundraisers, if you have any interest in getting a bracelet or doing a pasta dinner, if you want to follow either of us, or I guess really just follow Heal on Instagram because we usually post like our food fundraiser too. Don't feel obligated to do any of those things, kind of just plugging us at the same time. But yeah, if you ever feel like getting, I think we have a Playables fundraiser coming up. If you ever feel like getting Playa or Five Guys or anything like that, you could credit Heal at that too. So
also, this podcast goes out on YouTube, but also Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. That's a thing now. All sorts of stuff. I put the donation link to Heal's donor drive in the RSS feed, so like in the description, it should be there. So anyone who's listening, huh?
This is a plug to the general. You guys don't have to.
Yeah. No, this is not to you guys. This is just in general.
It's a plug to everyone listening. Please go do it.
Yeah. Well, I thought that like Emily was setting me up for it, so I appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was the intent. Either way, yeah, you can follow that link and donate to Thon through Heal and help us help us make Thon's mission a reality, right?
Make us the coolest special interest org.
We already are the coolest special interest org.
Okay.
Just make other people realize it.
No, all the special interest orgs.
They're all awesome. They're all the best. I didn't mean it. It was a joke, guys. Come on.
Okay, Bobby, can you ask your final question?
My final question, and this is simply because Morgan and I are lazy. Who do you want to see on this podcast? Because Morgan and I don't want to find people. We like it when you guys find them for us. I'm just kidding. Morgan's so like not lazy, and I just am.
Actually offended because I am the one who usually
I
invites
know.
you.
I try to make it easy. This is how I contribute, Morgan. I ask this question, so you don't have to worry.
I have an idea.
Okay.
I would love to see someone from a Commonwealth campus, like the head of a Commonwealth campus thon organization on here.
Okay, that's
Right.
an awesome
We gotta
idea.
reach out.
We're gonna have you guys help us to get some contacts.
We got you.
Outreach coordinators. That's a good one. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like someone, maybe a freshman who doesn't really know what thon is yet, or like a just joined HEAL.
Yeah, that would be fun for sure.
We gotta
You
find
guys
one.
are actually our first non-HEAL podcasters. Usually we have had
So
like
that's it.
HEAL org members, so you guys have officially become part of the Cool Club. It's self-proclaimed, but welcome to the Cool Club. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so it's actually super fun. We've been really trying to expand our reach to other people because we're always in oh my gosh, what's the word? We're always trying to push our org members to join committees and become captains and things like that, just to explore all the things that thon is. So it's super special for people who are listening to be able to just learn more about a different side of the thon community. So thank you guys so much.
Oh,
So
we
much
loved
for
her.
coming on,
I
guys.
loved it. I won't speak for her.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. This was fun.
So fun. Great meeting you guys. Well, meeting you, Bobby.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I think that's all. If anyone has any final words. Okay, great.
For the
Well,
kids.
For
Yeah.
the kids.
Yes, diamonds up. No one can see them, but diamonds up.
If they're on YouTube, they can.
Yes, true. Okay, well, thank you, Emily and Lily, for joining us today. We really, really, really appreciate it. It was so much fun. And until next time, Bobby, you have your final words?
Keep on dancing.
Love it.